as best as possible. Well, are we getting any closure after that? Sometime later? A different season? Or is this just credits? Joel. Oh, hello, old man. Was this after the party? Did they have an actual last conversation?
What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Where'd you get that?
Coffee.
Those people that came through last week. A little embarrassed as to what I had to trade to get it. Not bad.
I had Seth under control.
Yeah.
And you need to stop harassing Jesse about my patrols.
Dina. She your girlfriend?
No. No, that was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. She just, I should.
You do like her.
True.
So stupid. I have no idea what that girl's intentions are. But I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
Why, old man? Did you make me want?
You're such an asshole.
Why do you make me want to cry? I'm
I
not.
was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
Of course you would. At this point, you're like his kid, Ellie. I can't even speak properly, man.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that.
That's fair.
I would like to try.
Relax.
Okay.
Good talk.
I'll see you around.
Yeah.
That was their last conversation. She never mentioned it. I guess she just forgot. I'm not sure. Man, it's good. It's good, and I feel good that they actually got to talk about that. And she had every intention of actually forgiving Joel. For stuff like that, man, it's just hard. Whenever you feel like something, a big life opportunity, or defining opportunity is taken from you by someone else, someone you hold dear, it's just so hard to come to terms with it and see that person in the same light. So, I mean, it's understandable that she couldn't, but she wanted to. And this is just something else. She's leaving all her stuff. And I would hope she goes back to Jackson. I'm not sure if there's going to be like an extra part. No, that's it. That's it. So that was The Last of Us Part 2. I enjoyed this game a lot. And it was very hard on my emotions from the very beginning. Like, getting to see Ellie grown up felt like the first game actually had a purpose. The end of the first game actually had a purpose. So seeing Ellie grown up was awesome. And then seeing everything else that happened. Joel's death hurt a lot. As everything that went through in the first game, as you playing as Joel in the first game, I think that I connected way more with him than with Ellie throughout The Last of Us, and his death just hurt me way too much. When I saw the reveals, the trailers and everything else, I thought that the person that died was actually Dina, not Joel, and that Ellie was trying to get revenge for Dina. Then all the deaths throughout, like from Ellie's perspective, the only important people that died were Jesse and Joel. At some point I thought that Tommy had died too. Those hurt. And then from Abby's perspective, the way that they force you to be Abby throughout this game, to get the full context, the full story, it is very good storytelling, but the fact that they make these characters unlikable, and I mean, they're human, of course, they make mistakes, but it's so unlikable. Some of the things that they do are just so unlikable. I did not find it in me to either forgive or forget any other things that they did. And so, like, sure, a lot of the people from the Salt Lake crew weren't really at fault. They weren't directly killing Joel, but they helped Abby get there. The fact that Abby killed Joel after he and Tommy saved her life just seemed like the scummiest thing to me, and that, I think, is the guilt that she was trying to get rid of when helping Yara and Lev. Then again, after Yara is gone, and she starts looking at Lev as one of her own, even going so far as to betray all of the wolves and leave altogether. That made me think that she was actually starting to grow, and that she would never try to do something like that ever again. Point proven at the very end when Ellie arrives in, and she doesn't want to fight at all. She doesn't want it. She just wants to be there for Lev, which is what Ellie should have done for Dina and JJ. After the months gone by from that, since Ellie left, and the amount of time that must have gone or passed for Ellie to go back and the house to be completely empty except for Ellie's things, Dina must have been going through something really horrible. Like, she must have really, really felt abandoned. And I would not blame her at all for just moving back with Jesse's family or with her own. Back to Jackson. That's just it. This was a very emotional ride, and I think it shows not only for me just actually crying and being struggling to talk throughout Joel's death at the beginning of the game, but also me actually crying over seeing Joel at the very end and having that conversation with Ellie the day before he died. That was also something that strikes me. It strikes me very hard, and the ride was very emotional all the way through. As I said before, it's not that I really care about Abby much. It's not that I hate her guts either. I just don't like her as a person, and I just wish that she's there for Lev. Lev was just a kid, and he was forced to defend himself from his mother because they didn't accept him, and that's a lot of people struggle with that nowadays. Acceptance, especially within their families. The only people that others look acceptance from is usually their families, because they've known them their entire lives. They love them, and they just want to stick by with them. And when someone that you hold dear as your family doesn't accept you for who or what you are and what you think, and even become aggressive for it, it's not only heartbreaking, it's soul destroying. It can make you redefine who you are as a person, and it's very harrowing. It's a very harrowing experience. I don't wish it upon anyone, and people just need to be more accepting of others. But yeah, that's just something that I've thought for a long while. Not always been like this, but I've thought this for a very long while. And that's just something that really resonated with me on a different level. Not because Lev was born as Lily and didn't really feel like Lily, and he just wanted to be Lev. That's not something that I know personally, but I know what it is for you not to be accepted by the people that are around you and that you hold very dear. And it hurts. I know it hurts a lot. It's not on the same scale, obviously. It hurts a lot more on Lev's side than what I've been through in my life. But what I mean to say is that everyone goes through something like that at some point or another. And that doesn't mean that we have to be intolerant and crappy to others. We're at the special thanks part of the credits now, and I'm more composed than what I was just a few moments ago with Joel's scene and everything else. As I said before, I don't think there's going to be anything else after. So that's it. That was The Last of Us 2, and I enjoyed the ride. Thank you so very much. Yes. Thank you so very much for sharing this journey with me. And there's a lot more to enjoy here in the channel, guys. If you haven't seen my playthrough through The Last of Us 1, and you want to share or know the full story as I played through, go ahead and watch that. That is up in the channel. It's been for a couple of years now. There's the entirety of this, and there's some other stories, sometimes not as heartfelt as these two, but there's other stories that I've shared in with you people, because I love doing this. I love sharing in my experiences with games. I love the way that these things, this form of entertainment, warps us to different realities and let us experience stories from other people's shoes. Sometimes that's just everything that I need to be relaxed, and it helps me out a lot to share in with other people. So please, guys, do look around in the channel, stay and watch some other stuff. In the near future, I do want to... Sorry. In the near future, I do want to go to another one of these heartfelt stories. I actually started the project before, but I left on an exchange program, and I never actually finished editing the first few episodes, and those were lost. So I'm gonna restart that, and I want to play through the entirety of Life is Strange. I know it's a shorter game, but it's a choose your own adventure type of game, adventure game, and it's also gonna feature my face, my reactions, and everything else because it's gonna be the first time that I see anything about that. And yeah, so stick around for that, and a lot of other things that I have planned in the near future for all this. And I'm just gonna let the credits roll, and if there's anything else, I'm still gonna react to it. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you so very much, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. My tongue burn is actually starting to act up. I burned myself with tea yesterday night and I still feel it. It was a very good game. I liked it. I don't think it's the masterpiece that everyone says that it is, just from my perspective. Because there were a lot of things that I would have told different. It makes me feel helpless at a lot of points, and I think that's the intention. But I do not think that it's the biggest masterpiece ever. God. I also don't think that it is a bad game whatsoever. It's not a bad game at all. People were very on the fence, and they were saying you either love it or you completely hate it. And I'm not either of those. Like, I love the characters, some of them. I don't like the way that they developed as people. Speaking about Ellie, mainly, I like Dina a lot. I was starting to like Jesse, but then he got killed. Tommy, no. Why? Joel didn't really get development much. Just a little bit of relationship development with Ellie in the flashbacks, but not much either. And, well, as for the Salt Lake crew, not a lot of development. The people that actually got screen time were Owen, Mel, and Abby. I hated Owen. He was a scumbag the entire way through. And Mel didn't really resonate with me. Like, I felt bad for her, but she didn't really do anything else for me to actually feel like she was a very good person that was trying to do good for everyone. She confronted Abby in the worst way possible by the end, and we never saw her again. She was just dead. They were not happy in their relationship, apparently, even though she was happy, and Owen looked happy when we saw him at Christmas. I don't know. The people from the WLF just really didn't really... They didn't really resonate with me at all. Yeah, I mean, that was just it. That was not something that I liked too much. I didn't hate it too much either because I understand that they were portraying human characters. They were very human. It's a shame that Yara actually got shot and killed during the Lev's rescue. She was just out of surgery, man. I thought she was gonna make it, and they just shot her. Even more so felt like a plot device just to get to Isaac because that was gonna be unresolved by the end. It felt a little bit pushed in, not at the very last moment, but it just felt out of place. Like it was just there. There was no confrontation with Isaac, like no real confrontation. It was just move or I shoot you. You're not gonna shoot me. Move or I'll shoot you. Please don't shoot me. And then Isaac got shot, and then everyone shot Yara. So, I mean, it felt unimportant when it really wasn't. Yara was a big part of everything in Abby's story from day one all the way to day 3. Yara was a very big point, and she was just important. I cared for her a lot more than what I did for any other of the Salt Lake crew. And Lev, of course, was, I think, the most important of all the characters. And it is it is a little bit harrowing that you don't get to see anything about Abby and Lev leaving. Of course, Abby and Ellie getting in contact with each other at any other point in time is completely off the table. After that fight, if Ellie had just saved Abby and then each went on their boats, their separate ways, that would have been good. That would have been it. But the way that it went, obviously, it's just not. It's just not. Let's just say that it's just not. So Abby, of course, is not going to be happy at all about Ellie at any point in time, nor grateful. And Ellie, at the very least, I hope, found peace. At the end, she just left her house, left all of her stuff, the guitar and everything else. As I said, hopefully to get to Jackson.
I'm going there.
And there's even more special thanks in loving memory of Jerry Lavelle and Andrea Echeverria. And I think that's it. I think this is it.
Over Jordan, I'm just
A lot of music. Take on Me, right over there. Eight No Grave, Railroad Bill, Wind and Rain, Mountain Jumper. I'm just glad that none of these popped up as copyrighted in the content itself, especially because I was talking on top of everything else, but yeah, still open font. Good to know the fonts. And there you have it. New game is unlocked. Play through the game again with all the upgrades and equipment obtained from previous playthrough. We got the trophy, what I had to do. And with that, we get a different screen here at the beginning. And that's it. That's it. There's extras to the game, but I can't unlock them all with the points that I have right now. I'm going to play again through the game. And maybe with an extra video at some point I will see you back here again. But for now, I'll just see you guys soon. Alright? Thank you so very much. Remember to be nice to each other. Goodbye.